Hi everyone, my name is Akshaj and this is a video where I'm explaining Python lists. Lists are basically ordered mutable collections that can hold any type of data type. So they're ordered, you can change them, and they can hold any data type that you want. So for example, we have a small list here called cart, which has some items, ingredient items, and if I want to find the type of the cart variable, it will give me a list, and the len function will give me the number of items present in the list, which is 5. List can have multiple data types, like I said. You can have a string in it, an integer in it, a boolean in it, and a float in it without any issue. You can also have an empty list, which means you can start empty and add items later on. The list constructor in Python basically takes a string and breaks it down into individual characters and makes the entire list of it. So for example, we have a small string called Python. So we'll take every letter and convert it into a bigger string. Like in string, like we did in string, you can also do indexing and slicing in lists. For example, similarly, we'll have index starting with 0, and for positive indexing, we'll go left to right, and negative indexing goes right to left, and the first means it has the last index as -1 for the last character or last item, as you can see here. You can also have do slicing in it, where you can get a sublist. So if you, for example, I'll take a small one. If you have 1 to 4, which means start value is 1 and last end value is 4, which means you have to take 1, 2 and 3. So eggs, bread and butter, which you'll get. And you can also put a reverse list by using the -1 in the step value, so it will give you an entire reverse list. We have a small example here of a set of transactions in a list, and if I want to find the last 3, I can put -3 in the start value, and it will give me the latest 3 transactions that happen in the list. As lists are mutable, you can add elements to it. So for example, this is a small list of having 3 elements: milk, eggs and bread. For example, I want to add another ingredient called butter, and I can use the append function and add it to the list. Append function will add the item to the end of the list. We have another function called insert, but while append adds element to the end of the list, insert can help us add element to a specific position using the index function. So for example, I want to add sugar to the list. I can use insert and I can put the index I want. For example, I want to add it to the index number 1, so I can use 1 and write the element I want, for example sugar, and it will give me sugar in the first index. While insert and append were adding only one element, using the extend function I can add multiple elements, means a list of elements to the entire list. For example, I made another list called more items, which has some more items: coffee, tea and juice. And if I use .extend and put the list variable in it, it will add the entire list to the end, as you can see here. So again, for example, explaining append versus extend. Append adds one item to the end of the list, and extends add multiple items in a list to the end of the list, as you can see here. You can also remove elements in a list using the .remove function. Remove function basically takes the first occurrence of the value of the string or list item you put and removes the first occurrence by value. So for example, if I want to remove eggs, and I have 2 eggs here on the index number 1 and index number 4, it will remove index number 1 as it occurs first. Sorry, my bad. Here, as you can see here, that was .remove. Now .pop will remove an item based on the index you put. So you have to put .pop, and if I want to remove the 0th index, I can put 0 in it, and it removes the first item, as you can see here. And if you do not put any item, no index, it will remove the last item. So I put .pop without any index, so it removed coffee from the list. This is removed, as you can see here. Delete can delete an index by slice function instead of putting a string or a index, as you can see here. And clear empties the entire list. Lists are mutable, so you can also update items directly. For example, if I want to add another ingredient called cheese in the cart list, but I want to add it in the first index, I can put cart of 1 and write the ingredient I want, and it will update it as I wish. You can also update it using slice. For example, I have an entire list called scores. If I want to update from first index to the second index, I can add 2 elements if I want to add, so it will add here, as you can see. Here's a small example of a real life example. We have an inventory list which has multiple small 3 lists called with the device and the price of it. So if I want to update the price of the phone here, I can use it using this function. So basically what it does, it takes this list called inventory of the first index, using the first index, which means it takes this phone, and of the first element, which means it'll take, this is 0, so it'll take this, it'll update this, as you can see here. You can also search elements and check if they exist or not using the in function, as we did in list. You can also find the index of an element using the .index function, and you can also find the number of times an item appears in a list using the .count function, as you can see here. And one more interesting thing is that you can sort and sort a list. For example, if I want to sort it using the ascending order, I can use .sort of a list, and it will convert it, it will arrange it, sort it in the ascending order. But if I want it in descending order, in sort in brackets I have to write reverse equals true, which means it'll turn the entire list backwards in descending order. Sort, what it does is that it changes the list itself. But if when I use .sorted, it makes me a new list. It returns a new list and leaves the origin list unchanged. That's what .sorted does. And reverse basically reverses the entire list in place. And we can also use looping using a for loop for a list, and it will give us the list in a structured order, as you can see here. There's also something called nested lists. Basically, nested list means a list inside a list. So it's useful for grids, tables, and matrices. As you can see here, we have a big list called marks, and it has small 3 lists which has a name, a subject marks for maths, science, and English, as you can see here. But for example, if I want to access a particular item, for example, I want to access Arjun's science mark. So Arjun's science mark is basically in row 1 in column number 2, which is this. So I can use marks. The first, this is for the row, and this is for the column. As you can see, a list inside a list. This is called nested lists, and I can get the whole value. Another example is a tic-tac-toe grid, as you can see here. And there are also multiple built-in function lists, like len gives us the number of items, sum gives us the total, it calculates for integers, it calculates the entire amount, all the numbers. Max gives us the highest value, min gives us the lowest value, and sum, average, you can also find average by using the average formula, which is sum of all the values divided by number of values, as you can see here. You can also make a shallow copy, which means it avoids changing the original. So we have a copy list using the .copy function. So this is an original. When I put copy list, it will make me a copy. And I also appended 99 to the end of the list, so it also gives 99 here, as you can see. But there are also some common traps, which means that a copy, when I have a small list called A has 1, 2, 3 in it, and when I make B equals A, it's not a copy. What it does is it points to the same list in the same memory. So B is A and A is B, as you can see here. But if I want to change it, if I want to make a copy, so what it basically means that when I change anything in B, it happens in A. So it's not a copy, it just points to the same list. But if I want to make my own list, a separate list from A, I can use A.copy, which means it will make us a new list, not the old list. So that was all for this video. Thank you.